for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. I'm Nikki Maduro. She is Kim McAllister. I am here with my cocktails
in the world.
And we are, and there's Gavin Newsom.
Sorry. I didn't mean for it to be brought up there. Wait. Let
Hello,
me get it
Mr.
up.
Gavin.
Wait.
We will be getting to Mr. Gavin. He's been itching to talk since he was not able to speak yesterday at Davos.
I got him out. Okay.
But we will be talking about him, Trump, slurring his words, being nonsense, and the latest on Greenland and whether or not Taco Trump strikes again, which is a very interesting kind of debate on whether we should be really making fun of Trump for backing off, if this is really what we want. And whenever something like this happens, a lot of people are saying, is this what he wanted all along? Because whenever something like this happens, you know, him and all of his friends are making some money. We'll obviously be updating everything that's happening in Minneapolis. I love also the talk about the economy and how the economy is impacting different Americans. Because even though I hate going on X, and I only go on X when I'm prepping for the show because it is literally a cesspool. And I have to tell myself every single time I go on there, and I only go on there to kind of get the cesspool like perspective, it is an S show on there. When people post about the economy, for instance, Donald Trump, and I'm just going to play this clip really quickly. Donald Trump posted this video. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So Donald Trump posted this video a year ago. Is it going to come up for me? Here, a year ago yesterday.
Okay.
Under the Trump economic plan, we will cut your energy prices in half within, mark it down, and you can get very angry at me if we don't do it.
I will.
Within 12 months, your energy prices will be cut in half.
So, and everybody on X is just like, well, mine didn't. Mine sure as hell didn't. You want to know what my PG&E bill was? $600.
Yeah.
And this whole like gas like transfer fee thing on my PG, I'm pissed off, but whatever. I know I live in California, we have PG&E, but anyways, we'll be talking about what the ag secretary was saying people need to spend on a meal and the number that she used. And a reporter did the kind of back of the envelope math, and the results could surprise you, but there's a big caveat when we're talking about how much people really have to spend when it comes to, you know, putting food on their table. Also, this whole idea of capping credit cards, the APR. A lot of people may say, oh, 10%, that sounds amazing. It is not amazing. And there's a big reason why you do not want, honestly, you do not want credit card APRs rates capped at all.
It's also only for a year.
It's only for a year, but that year can really hurt a lot of people.
True, but it makes me think that if he's only doing it for a year, that he's just trying to get people to think that he's helping them because the midterm elections are coming up.
Oh, of course.
And then boom, back to the high interest rates. Done.
But it won't help them. And just spoiler alert, if credit card companies can't make money off of the interest rates, they're not going to give credit cards to the people that have the highest risk, which is a lot of people that use credit cards for those emergency bills. So people with the best credit, i.e. people that probably don't need the credit cards, are the only ones that are going to qualify. I mean, you could see your credit card that you have in your pocket stop working. They'll be like, no more, you can't use it. They're in the business to make money off of your interest. And so if you are one of those people that they're going to make money off of, say goodbye to your credit card. And I don't know how many people in America can live without a credit card for emergencies or to make ends meet between paychecks, especially right now. So this idea that Trump keeps floating around between that and housing, we'll get into. But yeah, some of these ideas are just kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So we'll get into that. But first, before we get to that, you guys, let's take care of some business, shall we? Please click the thumbs up button to show your support for the show. It really helps us out. And we always do appreciate all of you being here each and every day. And as always, thank you to everyone that supports our show, either through our Patreon or our PayPal. The Nikki Maduro Show at gmail.com is the way to support the show on all those ways. And if you're looking for the links, they can be found right below in the show notes. And as always, the super chat and super stickers are live, even if we are not live. So if you want your comment read live on the show, post it in there. And we always take the super chat and super stickers and always appreciate all the donations that you guys give. So thank you guys so very much. Okay. So there's like so many things that are getting me through the nonsense of the past week. 3 things. Harry Styles just released a new song. I was telling Kim right before we got on. So there's like, I'm distracting myself with positivity because, you know, the S show that is Trapped. So Harry Styles just released a new song, Aperture, today. So if you want to, shut up, Nugget. So if you want to entertain yourself with that.
Nugget.
Oh.
Nugget's getting yelled at big time. Oh, one thing I haven't talked to Nikki about, I know she's excited about the Harry Styles song, because anything that kind of, takes the pressure off of the
Sorry, guys.
heavy international news. Did you see that Usha Vance is pregnant with her 4th baby?
I did see that. Come over here, Nugget. Come over here. I did see that. Okay, now people were trying to do the timeline between that and the leather pant hugging going on at that
this on-stage caress. Yeah.
She was like, "That's my man, and I will be
I will be pregnant.
Putting a baby inside me." Now, let's go to the baby for a second. Is it exciting? Like, I really feel like if this was a normal presidency, it would be kind of exciting that the vice president, and the second lady, right? That's what they're called. The second lady is having a baby. That should be exciting news, right?
Why does it feel like America just went, ugh? I mean, it really should be. Anytime someone's like happy about their pregnancy, you should be like, "Whoa, good for you!" And and my first reaction was like, "Oh,
yeah, no." I feel like you know what? The fact that they know that it's a boy, which means obviously she's like 20 weeks at least, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wish them the best. Again, I'm not an awful person. I'm not the devil incarnate. I would never wish any harm.
No, not at all. I mean, do what you got to do, right?
Afraid to that man at all. I really don't. The hypocrite above all hypocrites is JD Vance. Believe me, he has proven that time and again, and you can't argue with that. But I wish her a very safe, healthy pregnancy. But it does seem a bit, just because of all the stories about how Kirk is going to be taking her place and I don't know. I wonder if from people in MAGAland, if it makes him seem kind of, I don't know, JFK-esque, not in politics, not political, but just like that young family with that young vibe, and the little kids running around, and the little boy that could be crawling under the desk. Like, does that give him some kind of leg up? Is that why they are still having babies? This isn't their first child, right?
No, it's their 4th.
Where are their other children? I mean, I can't, and even in my mind's eye, picture any of their children.
I mean, I don't think they parade them out. They're probably in school in DC at what is it, Friends of Sidwell?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like I feel this familiar package that that's going to earn JD Vance points with America, right? It's like, I don't know. Every time I think of JD Vance, it's either his weird face or him with Erica Kirk. Like, I don't know. Or he's saying something stupid in front of a microphone. He just posted something online on X, and I was cracking up. He totally set himself up. He let me see if I could find it real quick, because sometimes you just have to think things through. Here we go. He said this regarding the ICE raids in Minnesota and how he wants the police to help, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is what he had posted or had said during a press conference. And I'm just going to tell you, everybody had the same response after it. Here we go.
Types of cooperation that we need. Look, I don't need Tim Walz or Jacob Frey or anybody else to come out and say that they agree with JD Vance or Donald Trump on immigration. I just don't need that. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our local or help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives.
The White House.
Just cooperate. Just cooperate with ICE, okay?
No, but everyone was like, where's the sex offender? And everybody was responding, the White House is where the sex offender is. I mean, the distraction.
I just got that. That's funny.
Like, if he's a sex offender, tell us
You're
where
good.
he is.
You're
Like,
good.
well,
Yeah.
he's in the White House. Like every
Yeah.
single response was it. Because again,
Hilarious.
people, because
That's
again,
sad.
all of this is a distraction. All of this is a distraction to the Epstein files. They keep saying they've released something and nothing is being done. Nothing is being done. It's a distraction from Epstein, and we'll talk about it later, but it's a distraction from the economy. They've done jack nothing, and they don't want you to be paying attention. Hilo Karen says only the local police are not contacted by the feds or ICE before or during their occupation of cities. And did you see that press conference? Did you see that press conference of that the off-duty Twin Cities officers that are being targeted by ICE?
Yes.
And I love that the press conference, the guy was, and I'm just going to say it plainly, they had to have a white guy giving the press conference, because if they gave a person of color, right, the people that were actually being targeted, if they put them in front of it, I don't think it would have had the same impact. But he's saying, these are my off-duty officers. This is what they're experiencing. They're Americans. They're just off duty. They literally had to say, hey, I'm an officer, to de-escalate the situation with the ICE officers. And then the ICE officers would just walk away. No apology.
No apology.
No,
They're just like,
nothing.
they just drop and walk. This one lady is a police officer. She's pulled over. She's explaining to them she's an American citizen, and they say, okay, well, show me, show us. And she's like, well, it's America, so I don't carry my papers around.
Right.
And it escalates to the point where she finally has to throw out the I'm a police officer card. And that's when they drop it and walk away. It's just really. And JD Vance, just cooperate. Just cooperate. But did we see any cooperation between federal officials coming to state officials when it came to the shooting and in the investigation? No, they iced the local officials out and said, the FBI will do the investigation. Thank you so much. You now have no access to the crime scene, to the witnesses, to anything else. Sorry, we're doing it. I mean, we don't see a lot of cooperation between ICE and local authorities. So, but now, to avoid chaos, local authorities who are charged with protecting the citizens of their region are supposed to just lay down and so-called cooperate. Right. Okay.
What did you think about this? This is also happening. This happened in a Minneapolis church. Don Lemon was there as a journalist. A judge today refused to charge him because the DOJ wanted. Apparently, a bunch of protesters stormed this church because they believed that the pastor was part of ICE. Here's some video of it.
So, yeah. Guys standing up now saying, get out of our church. Screaming. They're trying.
Okay, so your thoughts on, and it honestly escalated from there. What are your thoughts on that? And you guys let us know in the comments as well.
I just saw recently, like an hour ago, that 3 protesters who disrupted that Minneapolis church service are arrested. They're under arrest. And that Don Lemon, I guess a judge said he's rejecting a criminal complaint against Don Lemon. For what? Covering the protest inside the church? Yeah,
they were saying the charges they wanted, they're like, you can't hide behind being a journalist. You're part of the protesters. That's what they were trying to do. And the judge was like, no, you can't do that.
No, please, my ass. But I feel like this is it the pastor or the chaplain or whoever it is that's in charge of this church is an ICE agent.
Okay.
How am I right?
I don't know. That's what was alleged. That's why they were there. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that's why they were protesting, because the guy who's in charge of the church is
David Eastwood. They're accusing him of moonlighting as an acting field officer director for ICE in Minnesota. Yeah.
So how hypocritical is it to, on one hand, stand up in your Christian pulpit and preach the word of God? And we know the word of God is, to welcome everyone, to take care of the poor, to take care of your neighbors, to whatnot. Sorry, I don't, have it all memorized, but that's my understanding of it, the gist of it. And then to turn around and do these horrible things that we're seeing. I mean, they're using children. They're taking at least 3 or 4 kids were taken into ICE custody yesterday in Minneapolis or in Minnesota. I don't know if it was all in Minneapolis per se, but in Minnesota. So I think that has opened up this person who's in charge of this place, of this church, for being a target of protests. And I'm sorry if that, shakes up the afternoon mass or whatever, but then why don't you have someone that's a true believer and not someone that's a hypocrite leading your church? That's my thing.
Okay. And then you're obviously entitled to your opinion as well. Now I don't know how well known it was. And again, I don't know how well known it was that this pastor was the acting field director for ICE and the pastor of this church for the people that went to church, right? I will agree with you here. I would find it very difficult. And again, I don't know, was this a Christian church, a Catholic church? I'm assuming it was a Christian church. This is the assumption I'm making. And knowing, the Catholic teachings at least, to reconcile those two things, right? Like it's big, but I find hypocrisy within religion all over the place. So it's not actually surprising. But yeah, I would have a very hard time taking the word from a pastor. So it'd be Christian, I guess, it's a pastor. And then believing what he's saying from the pulpit and then seeing that he's part of ICE, right? Like how do I reconcile those two things? Given how ICE is conducting its business. Again, ICE has existed for a while. The tactics that they're using is what people are protesting.
Right.
That is the problem. It is not the agency in and of itself, the existence of the agency in the past. It is the tactics in which it's using. And, there was this one woman, and I wish I could find the video, talking about throughout history, human behavior. And the worst of human behavior honestly just starts with permission. All a person needs to be terrible, basically, is permission. And that is what a lot of these ICE agents are getting. Just permission. They can throw morality and what they would do normally out the window once they get some sort of permission to behave badly. So this absolute immunity, or you could do whatever you want and you don't have to follow the normal rules and laws of the country. Oh, so now I can do all of this stuff, right? So that is what I feel like ICE agents are doing. So maybe that's even what this pastor, again, I'm making an assumption here, has convinced himself of. I'm a pastor. I'm going to stand up before my flock and say one thing, but then I have permission from my government to participate in tactics that do not align with what I would believe are his religion. Like, how can you reconcile those two things? I just don't understand it. I really, really don't. How is a 5-year-old a threat to this country? How is somebody that is following the laws of this country, i.e., seeking asylum, going through the lawful process, going to court, doing all of the things that are our laws, how is that? How is it legal for ICE to go in there and then violate our laws, take them out of our country, and you still justify it somehow in your mind? Explain that to me. I just don't get it.
I feel like there are people that will say, well, it's not ICE's fault that this 5-year-old was here illegally or that his parents are here illegally. It's not ICE's fault that people bring their kids over the border. Are we supposed to just ignore it? They're here illegally. So it's the parents' fault for putting their kids in that situation. I saw that argument made today.
Yeah.
But I would argue this. Listen, what kind of America do you want? Has it been so bad where we have our freedoms and we don't have to walk around with our papers, where we have American ideals like leave schools alone, leave kids alone? Has that worked out so badly for us that we have ideals of democracy? I want to say, I mean, it could be, Nikki, that I've been living in a cloud nine for a while, thinking America is a kind place, that we aren't so cruel as horrible things happen in other countries that don't happen here. Maybe, it's been happening all along and I just didn't realize it. But when you see something like these kids being detained, I'm feeling like we're losing our voice. We're losing who we are. We're losing a part of America that I don't want to lose. Yeah, they detained a 5-year-old. They detained 4 Minnesota students, including this little boy who's not in kindergarten yet. He's in preschool. Yeah. You want to watch the story?
Yes, please. It's so sad. He's so cute. This is the kid with the little blue hat on, I think.
Yeah. Classroom filled with 4 and 5-year-olds.
Yeah, this kid.
Who may soon wonder what happened to one of their classmates, Liam Ramos.
He's a bright young student, and he's so kind.
Ella Sullivan is Liam's preschool teacher. She says her students haven't asked about Liam yet, but they will. And she and other teachers wonder how they can possibly answer their questions.
All I want is for him to be safe and back here.
The family's lawyer says Liam is likely being held with his father at a detention facility in Texas.
We have clients that once they're picked up, they're whisked away to the airport literally within hours.
School officials say Liam is one of 4 students who have been detained by ICE agents over the last 2 weeks, including another student who was also detained on Tuesday.
On the way to school, a 17-year-old high school student, a minor, was taken by armed, masked agents. Alone. No parents were present.
Superintendent Zena Stenvik says the other 2 students include another 17-year-old and her mother, who were detained by ICE last week, and a 10-year-old girl who was also detained with her mother on their way to school 2 weeks ago.
And by the end of the school day, they were already in a detention center in Texas, and they are still there.
He's terrified.
Pastor Sergio Amezcua is also working with Liam's family. He says many in the Latino community are deeply concerned about children being taken by federal agents.
Let Child Protection Services take care of them while the parents would battle the legal battle.
Amezcua says many in the community are now afraid to leave their homes. His church has now received food delivery requests from more than 27,000 families who are scared to go to the grocery store.
ICE agents have been roaming our neighborhoods, circling our schools, following our buses, coming into our parking lots and taking our children. And our hearts are shattered.
And so that's America. That's the America you want. I mean, if it doesn't make you cry and feel like that's how we want to treat children. I have a 16-year-old daughter who didn't want to go into the dentist by herself today. I had other people to pick up, and it was the first time she had to go into the dentist by herself. And she looked at me and she goes, "Mom, I'm just a girl. I just want you to come in with me."
Aww.
And now you have these 17-year-old girls or kids, or I don't know what their genders are, but they're in ICE lockup. You have a 10-year-old, you have a 5-year-old. Like, it's not the America I want. And if this is what you thought, if you voted for Trump and this is what you wanted, then I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed in who my neighbors are and who we turned out to be. Honestly, this is too much for me.
And I'm seeing the comments, well, you'll constantly hear the argument. Well, they were here illegally, blah, blah, blah. Look, and I don't know this particular case or whether the parents were going through the asylum. I don't know. But in the cases which we're finding are honestly more than the criminal ones, right? And remember that immigration is a civil matter, not a criminal matter. But anyways, if somebody is going through the asylum process or going through getting their citizenship, right? They're on a legal pathway. They're not here illegally. Yeah. If they have their paperwork, if they have a court date. So you cannot call these people here illegally. If you don't like that process, then go to Congress. Have them change the rules. But until they're changed, stop calling these people illegal. Because what you're actually doing is you're giving these ICE agents the ability to violate our laws. So then stop talking about the fact of illegals, because the only one committing illegal activity are these ICE agents against these people that are going through the legal process. It's hypocrisy. Now, I understand that we have had problems with our immigration system and it's been going on, but it's been going on under Democratic and Republican presidents. So this whole bullshit that happened under Joe Biden, give me a friggin' break over here. Everyone knows it's bullshit. So stop. It's been a problem for generations and it needs to be fixed. I get it, but it didn't need to be fixed like this. And this is turning America into America I don't want to see.
Exactly. Yes, what you said. Times a million. We let immigrants come here. We have benefited from their work. We have benefited from them keeping prices low. We have benefited from them paying into Social Security, which they will never collect.
Exactly.
And we did it on purpose. And if we had wanted to enforce immigration laws, we would have, but it wasn't a big deal because we were benefiting. Therefore, I think it's the fault of America, not necessarily the fault of the people that have come here, because for so long it was fine. That was our system.
Exactly.
And now all of a sudden you want them out. Look, if as promised, if as advertised, Trump wanted to come in and take the violent criminals that were, shouldn't be here and get rid of them, great. But you can't tell me that Liam is a criminal. I saw a video today of a mom, just a mom like you and me, pulling into her garage with a car full of kiddos, and the ICE agents come up her driveway and they're pointing guns and she's freaking out because her kids are in the car. Her kids are there. And you hear kids screaming in the background and she's got her hands up and she's like, my kids, because she's afraid there's going to be an errant bullet fired into one of her kids. I mean, it's just like, this is a video that if you had told me it happened in, pick a country where there's civil unrest, I would have bought it. But if you had told me it was in America, what? Yeah. And it's happening every day to these people that, that it was fine for them to be here and now it's not. And they, by the way, are not the violent criminals that the ICE agents are supposed to be going after.
Exactly.
They're just living their lives and doing their thing. That's it. That's their only crime.
And again, it's a civil matter. It is not a criminal offense. Immigration is a civil matter. In those cases, obviously if it's somebody that's committed a crime, that's a criminal matter. There was this op-ed in the Washington Post and the headline reads, on ICE oversight, something is better than nothing. And there's this DHS funding bill. I don't know if you've heard about it. It has bipartisan, it was written with bipartisan support with Republicans and Democrats, but Democrats, including Hakeem Jeffries, are coming out against it, right? Saying there's just not enough that's against what DHS is doing. But this writer is saying, look, something is better than nothing, because here are some of the things that this bill would include. It would include things like DHS agents have to wear body cameras, which is, I think, very, very important when we're talking about proving whether or not these ICE agents are violating the law.
Especially when the comment from the Department of Justice is they have some kind of blanket immunity.
Exactly.
Please. Yeah.
Exactly. And so basically this bill, while it doesn't reverse everything, right? And yes, it does fund ICE. ICE is going to exist anyway. I mean, this big, beautiful bill, Trump is going to just keep funneling all of our tax dollars that are coming away from healthcare and everything else and just funneling it towards ICE. So if we could have some sort of oversight required, I think that we should do it. I don't know if it's going to pass. This political article says only a handful of House Democrats are expected to back this bill this week. I think it's going to the floor today, or went to the floor today. Again, like I said, Minority Leader Jeffries was among the many Democrats speaking against the bill because he wants more changes and amendments. I don't know. I mean, we need to do something while we fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We need to do something. And sometimes I feel we're an all or nothing type thing. Like, we need it all, but we also need to help the people out there. And I think body-worn cameras and things like that are desperately needed right now because we need to prove what is happening. They are taking protesters' videos and just, did you see today with the Minnesota church? The White House put out an altered photo of one of the people leaving, and they changed her face to make it look like she was crying when she wasn't. The White House. Let me see if I can find the picture.
Wow.
Took a photo. The woman was just walking out with like a straight face. And they put out an AI photo on their social media feed. And
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the White House is pushing lies.
well, yeah, but and they admit it here. Let me see if I can.
But see, the problem with that is, and I love that it's a lie, but there are people, probably like Sheriff of YouTube, who will look at that and it'll be pushed by the White House and they'll look at it and go, see, White House wouldn't lie to me. That's true.
See, let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. Hold on. I think here we go. Here's the picture. So the one on the left is the actual photo. The one on the left is the real photo. The one on the right is the altered one. And they admit that they said it out. They admit that they did that.
Why? Like, what was it not
trolling.
enough?
Because they're trolling. They wrote the memes will continue. That's what the White House of the United States.
I can't even. I mean, you should be able to trust your government, right? At least to tell you the right facts. I get that there's always going to be spin, but this is an out.
This is ridiculous, and it's a lie. This should be against the law. This should be against the law. It should be against the law for the White House, for a government agency on its social media page, which, by the way, is official documents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't delete it. Or at least you're not supposed to. I don't know under Trump if the rules have changed.
They delete all kinds of stuff.
Exactly.
They're
knows?
deleting history right and left.
But you're not supposed to do this.
We've got this person in the chat, the Sheriff of YouTube. Hi, Sheriff, who says it's criminal to jump a fence and hide in the USA. Why would you liberals prefer legal immigrants? Why are you so hard for the ones breaking our laws?
What are we talking about? Who?
I feel like you missed my point, that it's partially our fault because of the system we have set up that made it okay for people to be here. And now all of a sudden it isn't. And if you want to say it isn't, fine. But I think, Sheriff of YouTube, where you and I part company is the tactics in which you think it's okay to take people down and get people out of the country.
Right, like how we're going to fix the problem.
Yeah,
is the divide, right?
Right, exactly.
And I think that's what people like from George W. Bush to Barack Obama knew when they talked about it. It's like everyone realized that what we're experiencing right now is anti-American. That's why they didn't do it, because the idea of busting into schools, homes, not using due process, which they knew if you wanted to do something like that would be what we would have to do, is anti-American and would, and I'm not exaggerating, destroy the fabric of who we are. And that is what Donald Trump is slowly doing if we allow him to do it. And he's basically telling people comply. And I've seen it. I don't know if it was you, Sheriff of YouTube, or John or whoever. It'll be fine once it's over. No, it won't. Because once you tell people to comply, they'll keep going and controlling you. Oh, it'll just be until we get all the illegal immigrants out. And then once they have control of you, they're like, what else can we make them do? What, you think it stops there? No, my friends. No.
I have a problem with normalizing cruelty.
Oh, shit.
I think you got to stand up when you see people being victims of cruelty, and especially stand up when it's coming from your own government. These are the people we elected to represent us.
Exactly. They work for us.
This is not, they work for us. And this is not what I want. I don't know, Sheriff of YouTube, if you have no heart. When you see a 5-year-old kid, when you see moms in the garage with their hands up, worried about their children, that's the America you want. If you see American citizens being thrown to the ground because they don't have their papers, I mean, what country is this? What do we want? I can tell you it's not this.
No. Cindy, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. We used to be a nice country, she writes, but with 9/11, caused hatred for Muslims, and 2016 Trump made it okay to be blatant racist, caused more hatred. But racism and sexism have always been here. Thank you for your hard work. I hear what you're saying, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
And honestly, you know, the United States has always been flawed. That's who we are. We're honestly, like, our whole history and how we started, right, has been this way. But I felt like, you know how parents always want their children to have a better life than they had?
Yep.
But we're not, it's as if we don't want that anymore. It's as if we're not trying for that anymore. It's as if we want to repeat what we've already been through. Like, we did this. We're really doing this again? That's the problem. Like, we're really doing that again. I thought we kind of turned the page on that. And I just wanted to say thank you to Louise for the $5 donation.
Hi, Louise.
And giving the sympathy to my poor, terrible 49er loss. That was very, very hard over the weekend. Yes.
I'm
Thank you
sorry.
so
I
much.
thought they won. No, they lost.
They didn't even score a touchdown, my friend. It was like
ouch.
41 to 6. It was
Oh, that's painful.
painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was painful. But I love you, Niners, my team forever. But anyways, it's just a hard pill to swallow when we see a repeating of history and knowing that it wasn't that long ago, right? Like, Anne Frank would still be alive, right? Like, these things, history isn't that long ago. Like, it's not that long ago, and people talk like it is. And so when people are like, stop bringing up Hitler wasn't that long ago. Okay. These things weren't that long ago. So let's stop acting like it can't happen again, because we're seeing it slowly playing out before our eyes. Can we also talk about a little bit about the Davos and Trump, and how many people are calling after his slurring, ridiculous speech and everything regarding Greenland, the 25th Amendment, which, again, I don't think will ever happen, because his entire cabinet and JD Vance would have to sign on to the 25th Amendment to remove the president of the United States, which there is no way, shape, or form of that happening. But Ed Markey, I think was it Ed Markey that was talking about it? And of course he's liberal.
No, it's from the Democratic senator from Massachusetts is the one.
Is it
Markey?
I thought that was Markey.
Markey.
I was watching Ed Markey.
I was watching a thing by Politics Girl, and I think I might have.
Who
sent
I
it
love,
to you.
by the way.
And she's awesome.
I love her.
And she was saying, "Listen, what we're undergoing now, right now, at this very moment, is the direct result of the Republicans in Congress not doing their job."
Yeah, obviously.
Because they could impeach. They could bring Article 25. They could do all of these things to make it so that the mad king in charge is out.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of who voted him in, regardless, everyone now sees what's happening and where we are. So everything that's happening now can be placed squarely at the feet of Republicans that are elected to represent us, because they are taking no action to fix this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's as if Congress is just sitting. Now, I will say, with the 25th Amendment and people, always talking about impeachment, which again will never happen. I don't like to say Congress is doing quote unquote nothing, but it doesn't seem like it, right? It doesn't seem like, if it was any other president, this would have never flown. And that is the epitome of a Trump presidency. But Donald Trump, again, was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous at Davos, kept mistakenly switching Iceland for Greenland, said it numerous times, 4 times, I think.
Imagine if any other president had done that, we would have been like, whoa.
If Biden had done that, 25th Amendment would have already been filed. Okay, would have already been filed. And he just does it. He says it's Iceland, clear as effing day. And Carolyn, dumbass Levitt, denies it. And that is the problem with this administration. That is the problem. They will tell you not to believe what you see with your eyes or hear with your ears, even though there is proof right in front of your face that he did it. Now he's backed off. He has a framework of a deal, which totally reminds me of healthcare. I'm like, oh, we have a framework of a deal regarding Greenland, which I'm not, how do I put this? I'm not mad at, because I was really scared. You know what I mean? I will be honest. I was really scared about what was going to happen with Greenland. And I'm also going to be honest about this. I have no problem with NATO countries coming together and protecting Greenland's and the Arctic interests against Russia and China. But that's not what Trump was saying. Trump was saying, I want the US to control Greenland. That's what he was saying. He was not saying anything else. He wasn't saying, I want to control, I want to protect our interests, I want to protect. Yeah. He wasn't saying that. That's not how he was framing it. So for him now to be like, oh, I've worked out a framework of the deal where we're going to have more military bases to protect all of our. No, that's not how he was saying it. He was saying, like, this is my toy. You're either going to give it to me or I'm going to take it. That's how he was saying it.
And he said there is no alternative. I will have it. It will be mine.
Yes.
That's what he said. And then he said, if there's a framework of a deal, and it turns out the deal was the one we already had all along. Right. So we really didn't make any deal. He just walked away.
Well, and that's the thing. He like blusters gets everybody upset, ruins all the markets are all freaked out, which is the point. I think they're making money whenever there's all this crap happening. Anytime the market goes down, by the way, anytime the market goes down, he's making money.
What other reason would there be for all this blustering? And then you can't say, you failed. Whatever you were trying to do blew up in your face, and you look like the world's biggest idiot. And now you're walking away saying there's a framework of a deal. What an embarrassment. What you have to say is, great job, Mr. President. Look at you. You've been such a success. Well, no, but if you don't say that, then, he gets his tiny little man hands all in a bunch and then feels like he has to lash out like he did with Venezuela, and God help Greenland. So, I mean, you don't want to like ruffle his feathers too much, because then he'll feel like he has to be a strong man and get in there. And he's so volatile, and he's so has this shabby, shallow little ego that it's frightening for everyone around the world, not just for America.
Yeah. Apparently we're going to have a little more sovereignty over some pockets of Greenland, which in my mind, I don't know what that actually means, but I would just imagine you're going to have sovereignty over the land where your military bases are going to be. That's what I would imagine. There's not that there's not that much, but the parts of Greenland that are habitable are like the edges, from what I understand, right?
Yes.
Like, so
it's cold there. It's very cold.
cold. So, it's when you picture Greenland, ice in the middle, land that you live on the edges. So, I've never wanted to know this much about Greenland. I don't think anybody like that interested in Greenland before, but I've learned so much in recent days. It's amazing.
Karen says, regarding Greenland, he ruined the relationship with Greenland and Denmark and NATO countries, and then he fixed it, calls a big win, and his supporters apparently buy it. Here's my problem, and thanks for the comment, Hilo Karen, is that he is now changing the world order and shaking up our relationship with long-held allies, people that supported us when we were attacked on September 11th. The countries I look at, the democracies of the world, the good guys, right? And what does he want in its place? His peace board.
Yep.
Where you have countries with dictators in charge that are paying $1 billion to sign up to sit on the peace board, allegedly Putin, Bulgaria, a bunch of countries from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia is another one.
Whichever ones are going to make him rich, basically.
So these are the countries that we want to align ourselves with, and we're willing to ditch our friends in NATO because we want to align ourselves with countries that slam down rights of their citizens and are all about dictators in charge, and as you say, money. That's what
it's all about money. It's only about money.
That
if you
is
think it's
dangerous for the
anything
world.
else, it's not. All he gives a crap about is money. The stock market is the only check on Trump. He backs down when it has a big drop. But again, he buys the dip. So he doesn't care about the dip. I mean, the drop. So he wants the drop. And then he's like, okay, I've made my money now. I'll give you guys back. And meanwhile, he's made his money on the backs of all these people that have their retirement funds and everything else taking a hit. He doesn't give a crap about you. I don't understand how people don't understand that.
Luis says, dude is the master of turning a problem into a crisis, doing nothing, bringing things back to where they were originally, and then taking credit for solving a problem.
Right. Because he's making
Luis.
money at that time. It just drives me nuts. And again, we were talking before the show about Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom was also at Davos. And it's funny, like, I think Trump during his speech had said, if Gavin was here, and then, like, the camera panned over and Gavin was like, there. And Gavin wasn't able to speak, I guess, and he was really butthurt about it. But then he was able to speak today, I guess, at a different kind of forum or whatever, right? So I don't know. He was obviously slamming Trump.
Percent of us are foreign born. We practice pluralism. That's a word you haven't heard in America in a year, where we dominate in every critical category in terms of energy and daring and entrepreneurialism and innovation. Look, give me a category. In California outperforms, fourth largest economy in the world. And so we can punch above our weight. We can come here with formal authority and a little moral authority. And I tell you, we need a little moral authority in our body politic in the United States of America today.
Governor, how do you balance?
Good morning, everybody.
Sorry. I figured we would.
He's hot. You can tell he's very, like, he's angry. You know what I mean?
You're a tough interview, Governor. And when I think you have chosen a sort of, if you can't beat him, join him strategy to the way you're talking about this stuff. You talk, you're running around distributing knee pads to CEOs, and I think it does.
Handing them out.
And it does.
I do have a few, if you'd like. I don't know.
And honestly, it sounds. And
by the way, I'm not kidding. They're the new Trump signature series knee pads. Yeah, and they are available online. I told you the last one sold out.
I honestly.
I just want to sort of.
It's a serious moment. It actually. But we laugh. Anyway, these are available and in bulk too.
But I want to read you a couple of things the U.S. government has said about you in the last 24 hours or so.
How about the U.S. government?
The Treasury Secretary.
Let me know when you want me to pause.
No, I want to hear it.
Described
I
you as
didn't get to
Patrick
listen to all this.
Bateman
Let's
meets
go.
Sparkle Beach Ken, the White House Communications Director.
That was the U.S. Secretary
Thank you.
of Treasury.
I have a couple more, and then you can respond. The White House Communications Director called you Gavin Newsom, and an official White House account, a federal government account, described you with I'd say, very online sexual slur that people here probably don't want to hear at 8:30 in the morning. And you're, in some sense, responding in kind. And waving the knee pads
fight
around.
Fire with fire.
Do you think? Should you? I mean, is that kind of discourse from you, from them, good for America?
No, it's deeply unbecoming. Come on, of course it is. It's not what we should be doing. But you've got to point out the absurdity. You got to put a mirror up to this. This is madness. President, you see what he's saying about European leaders, you talking down to people, talking past people. I mean, look, the comments he made yesterday, we're not even discussing, because you're discussing all the other comments about windmills or whatever else that was happening. Well, he talked about Somalia's community. This is not normal. It's a deviation of normalcy. We've got to call it out. So I put a mirror up to Trump and Trumpism in all caps. And it was ironic because Pravda, Fox News in America, others, they got offended by it. They said, well, where's his mother to wash his mouth out with soap? I said, well, where the hell have you been? You've never said a word about Trump dressing up as the Pope, tweeting out and cosplaying on the world stage. And so the Treasury Secretary talked about a Barbie doll. It was as if he was reading a diary and had just broken up with someone. I mean, that was the Secretary of Treasury using valuable time yesterday on the world stage. Some sexual, thank you for not sharing that on the official White House account. We're deeply in their head. I think the affordability agenda appears to be, I'm living rent-free in the Trump administration's head.
All right, you can end it. I mean, and because we've heard all this from Newsom before, and I think that, and I'm glad that he's actually saying it on the international stage, because I think it's important, because I think that we don't want the rest of the world to do what America's been doing, which is normalize this BS. Because that's what Newsom's saying. He's like, he said all kinds of really seriously stupid crap. Like, and you're just talking about windmills. Did you listen to all the other stuff he was saying? Like, and there were some international leaders that were saying, if he's going to do this, then we need to respond in kind, which I was happy to see, although it scared me as an American, right? Like, we don't want NATO to abandon us. We don't want them. We don't want Europe to come up with a plan that leaves out the United States, right? Like, this is not what we want, to be on the out. We don't. Even though Trump may think that they need us. I understand that we are a world power, right? I understand why other countries don't have military bases here. We have military bases there. Like, I understand that. I understand our power, and I'm proud of that power. I understand that. But there is a give and take here, and there is a history there. And if we keep abandoning our allies when we need them, like I think the head of NATO was pointing out, they were there for us after 9/11. They were. Okay, so we just can't ignore our allies and what they've done for us as well, even if we happen to be stronger. I just think it's awful. And so I just don't want other countries to ignore the nonsense that is Donald Trump. It's just, it would be frightening if they did. It really would.
I just had to ban the sheriff of YouTube. I mean, I hate to do it. I know. I really,
Bye, Sheriff.
Bye. Adios.
Kim's in charge of banning, so if you're still watching.
I really like dissenting opinion. Like, I love when someone comes out and says, but this, but that, and makes you think and makes you either reevaluate your position or defend it more strenuously or whatever it is. But when you come here and you start using cruel words, or you start name calling, you start singling out groups of people and being cruel, that's when you got to go. Okay. So it wasn't your dissenting opinion, Sheriff of YouTube. It was the fact that you started acting like an a-hole. And so bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's move on now to money.
Wait, before we go, I had an opinion on Newsom that I wanted to share with you.
Yeah. Oh, about the knee pads. The knee pads.
The knee pads. Okay, so I like when he does what he said, which is hold a mirror up to Trump.
Right.
Great. Hold a mirror up. Give it right back to him. Be as ridiculous to Trump as Trump is to you. Right. I love this. I think this is amazing. But he said recently, he called out CEOs that are bending a knee to Trump and said, I'm going to get you all some knee pads. And here's the problem. When you take this behavior, this outrageousness that Trump is showcasing, and you turn it and you then talk to the CEOs and business leaders of the world and offer them knee pads for, whatever capitulation or sexual, whatever the connotation is there, that's when I have a problem, because then you become more Trumpian. If you're just doing it back to Trump and the Trump administration and the people who are being outrageous and incredibly unpresidential and un-American, I get it.
Okay.
But if you then take that message and then start throwing it out at other people, then you are just doing what he is doing to other people. And that's what bothered me about the whole knee pad thing, is it wasn't a hit toward Trump. It wasn't a slight toward Trump. It was directed at other people. And that's why I gotta draw. There's a line in the sand that I think he crossed there.
Well, but I mean, that's the purpose of knee pads, right? I mean, it can't be just directed at Trump, because the purpose of the knee pads is you're getting on your knees for Trump. So it has to be directed at the other people, right? I mean, there is a point to be made there. You're getting on your knees, you're bending the knee.
Sure.
So here's some knee pads to Donald Trump when you don't need to. I always think of that cartoon, and I'm sure many of you have seen different iterations of it, of, the person of power out there on, the plank kind of, and all the people are on, at one end and they don't know their power. All they have to do is step off and the person of power will fall. But we just don't know our power. And that's how I have always felt about Congress and the American people. It's like Trump has been this albatross around Washington's neck. And I still to this day don't understand why they just don't step off that train. Because if you would just let him go and work together, you can actually get some actual stuff passed. Because I really do believe that the tide is moving away from Trump popularity. The latest poll, what was it? Was it Time, the New York Times, or that had his popularity going down? He like blew his gasket today or something. He's gonna like sue him or whatever, because God forbid a poll shows him negative. Now he's gonna sue him.
The poll says what I want it to say, Nikki.
Or I'm gonna sue. Yeah.
The jobs reports say what I want them to say. Come on, I'm in charge here.
The truth of the matter is people are just not liking how he's handling things, even if they were a fan of him. Does that make you can't tell people, again, we've said this many times, that it's rain when it's actual piss. You know what I mean? So stop already. So we'll see. Because again, people know what their bank accounts look like. People understand that, you know, it doesn't look good when children are being taken out of their schools, and the optics right now just don't look good for Donald Trump. And he's not holding up his end of the bargain, right? That's the biggest thing. I showed you the video at the beginning of the show, right? He made this promise that yesterday, a year from yesterday, all of our energy bills were going to be cut in half. I don't know about you. And you could say, oh, it's because you're in California. I don't know. I thought I was an American. Does mine not count? But whatever. I go across the country. I don't know anybody universally where everyone's energy bill has been cut in half. Okay. Unless you're cutting your heat off half of the time. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, maybe if you're not turning your heater on, you're using half as much electricity, maybe. But go ahead.
I saw this story. Speaking of energy prices, natural gas prices soar more than 60% as this massive winter storm approaches. So natural gas prices are up. I don't know about you, but my power bill is poof through the roof.
So high.
To the point where at night in my house it's so cold, everyone has to wear sweatshirts and socks and wrap up in blankets because it's really, really cold because we're trying to cut down on power use. And I mean, it's always good to conserve, but at this point, we're doing it because we got hit with a $500 PG&E bill.
It was so high.
It's so interesting. High. Mama de los Goblins made the comment about Trump that he needs his own knee pads for PG&E.
Yeah.
Point taken. That's true. Yeah. But overall, if Trump is promising to bring down power costs, but then he's zapping the offshore, wind power installations off the East Coast, he's not going to bring down power. He's not doing right by the country. I saw another story about how the prices of groceries have actually gone up.
Oh yeah. I mean, and obviously not everything has gone up, but everyone's paying more, or they're definitely not paying less. And that is what he told us day one. This is why Biden was not getting reelected. Remember? It's the economy, stupid. Remember? And now JD Vance is like, you couldn't turn the Titanic around overnight. I don't know why he keeps talking about the Titanic. It is not the analogy you want to use, but whatever. Oh, really? Because that's what you kept telling that Biden needed to do, right? That's what you kept saying Biden needed to do, that it was so easy to fix the economy overnight, but apparently not. So here is Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins talking about how much people should spend and could spend on groceries, which she was kind of getting vilified for a bit. And I get it.
Real quick. You got some criticism for a comment that you made on News Nation, actually, about a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, and a tortilla, and one other item being around $3. Do you regret those remarks? Do you think you were a little bit flip about the price of groceries?
No, well, I regret that I didn't make it sound like a more robust plate, because that is what I meant to make it sound like, a really big piece of chicken and when I said a piece of broccoli, I meant like a big. I'm a mom of 4 and I cook broccoli a lot. For me, that's a big head of broccoli. A baked potato, etc., couple pieces of bread. I just came from a meeting where over at USDA right before I got back here to the White House, where every week I'll check on food prices. And about 2 weeks ago, I asked our economists over at USDA, said, I really want y'all to dig in. The food on this now upside down triangle, what exactly the food on the triangle, if you were to put that together and you were to put a day's worth of meals together, whether it's pork or salmon, I'm kind of thinking of the food triangle, a glass of whole milk, whole grain bread, fruits and vegetables, rice and beans, etc. I said, come back to me and let me know. And I don't want any funny business with numbers. Like, I really want to know what that looks like, because we had run almost 1,000 simulations, and between $3 and $4 is a fair number if you can have access to that food. So just about an hour.
You can have access to that food.
Numbers that were run, a full day, meaning 3 full square meals and a snack, is about $15.64. $15.64. That's all 3 meals and a snack. So we'll be talking more about that.
What store is she shopping at?
Part of me sort of cringed at the criticism that I got, because it wasn't what I meant. And I grew up with a single mom in a really small town.
Of course you did. They always do.
But I also think that the left, or those that were attacking me, perhaps know that this is an issue that 90% of Americans agree on. It is one that no one's really done anything about until this administration.
Bullshit.
And it is one where we will fundamentally, I believe.
Yeah, no, and I love when they say stuff like this. No administration has ever tackled grocery prices. Are you insane? Like,
no one's ever seen anything like it, Nikki. No one's ever done anything like Trump has done it.
What are you talking about? So I want to show you, I want to play this for you because it was really, really interesting. There was this reporter, and he did a really, and I'm going to play it. It's a couple minutes long. And this reporter did a really good job. He's in a state that actually has lower prices than other states. So it's not like California. So this is a state that honestly should be a good barometer for most people, gives this administration the best shot of having the lowest prices. And they did the back of the envelope kind of math on whether or not you can actually make a meal out of this. Okay. And because I want to be fair, and it might surprise you a little bit. I want you to watch it, and then I want you to tell me what you actually think, because it still honestly pisses me off a bit. So here we go.
We're hitting 3 different grocery stores, all at different price ranges.
It can cost around $3 a meal for a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, corn tortilla, and one other thing.
That's the current Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, saying you can get chicken, broccoli, tortillas, and another item for $3. Now, instead of sitting here talking at you, feeding into the online arguments, I'm just going to go check. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. We have about 7% sales tax, and prices here are generally lower than most states, so keep that in mind. This is also not an ad. I'm paying for this with my own money, and we are not affiliated with any of these brands. We're just doing a price check. Stop 1, Aldi. Aldi is known for being one of the most affordable grocery chains, so this is a good place to start. This 3-pack of chicken was $8.17, $2.72 per piece. Broccoli is $3.22 for 2 pieces, which is $1.61 for 1. Tortillas, that rang up at $1.95. And for my mystery 4th item, I was going to get just an apple, but they only sell apples in packs, so I went with this bag of rice instead. I also had to pay for a bag, which was 12 cents. All of that comes to $16.12 out of pocket, $8.93 by the piece. Stop 2, Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee is a mid-range grocery store. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive, so it gives us a middle-of-the-road comparison. Now, they do have a butcher counter here, so I was able to get 1 piece of chicken for $3.31. Broccoli is $3.99 or $2 a piece. Tortillas, $1.68, and a singular Gala apple, which is $1.07. All of that comes to a total of $10.05 out of pocket, $8.06 by the piece. Stop 3, Whole Foods. Whole Foods is generally expected to be on the higher end of the price spectrum, especially with their wide selection of organic items. At the butcher counter, 1 piece of chicken rang me up at $4.26. Organic broccoli was $4.98 for 2 pieces, which is $2.49 for 1. It took me 30 minutes of pacing around the store with my camera to find the tortillas, but it rang me up at $3.49. And my extra item again is 1 Gala apple, which was $1.12. All of that comes to a whopping $13.85 out of pocket, $11.36 by piece. So with all that being said, despite Hy-Vee being the cheapest all around, the Aldi meal was the cheapest at just 75 cents per serving. By this logic, Brooke Rollins' $3 claim checks out, but I still had to spend $16 to get the ingredients out of the store. And for most Americans, that upfront cost is what matters. You can't just go to the movie theater and buy a 75-cent handful of popcorn. You have to buy a whole bag of popcorn for around $8. Consumers don't live in simulation math. They live in checkout math. If you want a deeper dive,
And that's the point. It's
Check
like
out math. That's exactly it.
you have to go grocery shopping. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to the grocery store every single day and buy one piece of chicken. You know what I mean? And I'm not one person. I'm a family, right? So and the thing also is, it's just the whole let them eat cake bullshit. It's like Donald Trump and his billionaire ballroom crap happening at the same time his ag secretary is telling us to have one piece of chicken, one thing of broccoli, and one other thing. These two different worlds is so effing insulting. It boils my blood. You know what I mean? It's like, screw you. Like, you're giving Argentina billions. You're trying to pay off, to people in Greenland so you can buy their land. You won't give us health care, and you're telling us to eat chicken by the piece? Screw you.
And you set up an account where you're selling Venezuelan oil and putting it into a special account that you control. Here's the thing about everything that's happening, Nikki. The outrageous dismantling of NATO by Trump, the outrageous collecting of other countries by Trump, Venezuela as a case in point, the horrendous treatment of immigrants and or Americans, anyone of color in this country. And people are going to vote because their prices are higher. Like, that's where you listen, I get that prices are important. I get that we can't afford it, and affordability is important. And that's, Trump has to focus on it. As Newsom said,
it's a hoax, though. Affordability is a hoax, though.
It's what's getting to Republicans, right? How can we not be as concerned about all these other things as we are about the price of chicken and broccoli? I just don't get it. I mean, I don't know.
It's crazy. Well, I mean, again, and there's things going around. Then there's the housing, right? Did you see? I don't know if you saw the video of who is it? Is Scott Bessent talking about homes? I think this was also at Davos, right? And he's talking about, because Donald Trump wants to take, and we've heard this argument before, Newsom wants to do it, Tom Steyer has talked about it too, taking corporations out of buying single family homes, right? If we take corporations out of it, it leaves regular people to buy single family homes. And when you do the deep dive, and I've read many articles on this, specifically here in California, it wouldn't make much of a dent. The number of homes that are bought up by corporations is relatively small. So even if you took them out, it wouldn't really put that many single family homes on the market. We actually just really have to build more homes for people. But the whole out of touch with the average American problem with this administration can be also summed up with this guy.
We are going to give guidance at some point to see what is a mom and pop that someone, maybe your parents for their retirement, about 5, 10, 12 homes. So we don't want to push the mom and pops out.
Did your mom or pop buy 10, 12 homes for their retirement? Some people can't even buy one home. And that is the problem. It's this administration doesn't even realize how hard it is for people to afford to buy one home. And yet they're trying to develop a policy to protect mom and pops. Now, I looked it up. I did a little bit of research. And the average mom and pop investor of real estate owns about 3 to 5 homes. So if you are someone that invests in real estate, and that's like kind of your portfolio, that's where you invest your money, it is 3 to 5 homes. 10 to 12? No. Okay. So it's just kind of out of touch. I don't know where he's throwing out these numbers. Maybe he was just pulling them out of his ass. I have no idea. But if this administration is even working with real numbers, then they don't understand the true problem. The true problem is there's not enough homes. The homes are too expensive. And Donald Trump is trying to please two people. He said contradictory things when talking about single family homes this week. He said he wants to make it more affordable while at the same time protecting the property values of single family homes. Now, that is going to be very difficult to do.
Can you do both?
It's going to be, I don't know how you do both. I don't know how you make housing. You have to build. That's what you have to do. You have to build more homes. You have to build smaller homes. Now, that will make the price of bigger single family homes likely more expensive, but at least it offers up an alternative for other people. You might not have the bigger home, but at least there's a home to buy, right? Like at least you get in somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to build something, but you can't keep the price of homes high while also making it affordable. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand the math there. So I don't know how he's going to please both the people that want to get into homes and the people that want to keep their homes that they bought for $80,000 and are now $4 million. I don't know how you appease both those people. The math ain't mathing for me. That doesn't make any sense. So
no. Now, Halo Karen says developers don't like to build smaller homes for less money. I'll tell you, I could not afford to buy the house I live in right now.
Of course you can't.
I could not afford to buy it today.
No.
And so how are our kids going to afford to buy homes in this area? They're not.
They won't. No.
No.
They will live in your home when you die.
In perpetuity.
No, that's my plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hope that's my plan is that, you know, when my family eventually passes away, that homes will be passed down. That's called generational wealth.
Right.
And that is why when we talk about people of color not being able to get into housing that were redlined generations ago, and they're like, oh, why are you talking about stuff back then? That's why, because that's generational wealth they didn't have access to that people benefit today, right? Yeah. Try to get into a house now, but it was really easy back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right? Think about that. And people just don't put those two things together. So yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Housing is a tough nut to crack without building. Now, I hope that California will do, and it's going to be interesting to see who gets the governor's race, right? It seems to be cracking wide open. I thought that Katie Porter was going to run away with it. Now my mayor, Matt Mahan, is jumping into the race, possibly.
For governor?
For governor.
I didn't know. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he hasn't officially, but that is, he's dipping his toe. He's been
Eric Swalwell is in it.
Yeah, I don't know about Eric. I mean, I like Eric. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know about him. Tom Steyer, obviously. But it just seems like so many people are running for governor that I don't know where it's going to go. But it's going to be interesting to see what they do about housing. But yeah, Matt Mahan. He's
Does he have enough experience, Matt Mahan? I mean, he hasn't been the mayor of San Jose for that long. He's had success.
Yeah, but so here's the thing. Now, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to totally go. I've liked him as mayor. The thing that I think that Matt Mahan has going for him is he's not a true right or lefter. Like he definitely, he was just with, who was the Republican that, Mahan, Republican. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting his name right now. Steve Hilton. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, the Republican was just here. He was just meeting with Steve Hilton, who I think is also running for governor. And he just met with him and was showing him our housing, the temporary housing for our homeless. So Mahan will deal with whomever to solve the problems. And I think that that's what he has going for him. And the only reason he's thinking about running for governor is he's not satisfied with the solutions that he's not hearing from those that are running for governor. So he's like, well, if I'm not going to hear it, then I might as well possibly. He has not officially said he's going to run, but he's thinking about it. He's like, well, I might run. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think he was going to win mayor. In all honesty, remember, Cindy Chavez was going to run, and then he won. And I've been happy with him as mayor. I really have. I have no complaints. Honestly,
he seems to have done well.
So,
but that doesn't mean that translates to a state.
Oh,
level.
absolutely not.
Like he needs a little more experience.
California is a huge asset. But you know what? I have been quite honestly, pleasantly surprised so far with some outsiders. Like Daniel Lurie in San Francisco. I was like, what? And people are really happy with what he's been doing with San Francisco. So, you know, I'm not going to necessarily say just because you don't have the quote unquote typical experience that you can't do the job. Now, obviously, mayor and governor are two totally different things. Yeah. But I would also argue being the mayor of San Francisco is a tough ass job. I'm not talking about San Jose. I would not want to be the mayor of San Francisco if you paid me $1 billion. Yeah. So, and Daniel Lurie is pleasing a lot of people, and it's a difficult job. And people, honestly, I continually hear San Francisco is back. And I would not have heard that under London Breed. I had not heard that under London Breed. So, and he was a total outsider. So maybe being an outsider and having those different set of eyes and experience can do something for you. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Are you still sticking with Porter, or are you?
I love Porter, but she seems quiet right now, right?
No, she's got some competition on her heels, and after that whole like lashing out at a reporter thing, I think maybe she took a little step back.
I think she's being quiet because of that. I think she's just kind of like, let's tone it down for a little bit. There's some time to let that story die down. I love Katie Porter. Honestly, I think she'd do an excellent job as governor. I really do. My support for her has not wavered, but she's not really campaigning. It feels like I still get emails from her, but that's all the campaigning that I see. I don't really see any other campaigning. So, hello, Anne Marie. Hi. I don't see any other campaigning going on from Katie Porter at all.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I feel like if she like did a debate like on the stage, she better have that whiteboard with her. You know what I mean? Like you got to go back to your roots, woman. Like that's why I fell in love with you. So we gotta go back to basics with Katie Porter. She's gotta, and I'm not going to even talk about her attitude. I'm not even going to talk about the outburst because we live in a Trump world and screw all that nonsense. You know what I mean? But she has to start campaigning. Tom Steyer is a billionaire. He's going to bury her in ads. So
at this article from Cal Matters, it says, who's running for California governor? It is a field that is wide open. So here's who's running so far. Javier Becerra, Katie Porter, Tom Steyer, who's a billionaire, right?
Right.
Chad Bianco, Eric Swalwell, Antonio Villaraigosa, who's the former mayor of Los Angeles.
Right.
Betty Yee, who I believe is the former, I want to say treasurer.
No,
type of financial officer.
Yeah,
California.
she was the
Controller.
Yeah.
Tony Thurmond, who was the state schools chief.
Right. Superintendent.
Ian Calderon and Steve Hilton. These are the people that are running for governor thus far. And as of December 2nd, Cal Matter says this is anybody's game right now.
Liz says no billionaires. I agree with you. You know, the whole billionaire thing, I was seeing this article today and it pisses me off so much. It was about the billionaire tax, the California, it's going to be on the ballot, I think, right? Or they're proposing it for the ballot. And they're like, oh, all these billionaires are going to leave and da-da-da-da. I want this. This is my dream, Kim, okay? Is if this goes to the ballot, I want every billionaire that is in California, I want them to be brought on stage and I want them to sit in a round table because it's only like a one-time tax, right? That's the proposal. It's like this 5% one-time tax that's supposed to go to healthcare and to fund all this stuff, right? And I want them to sit there and I only want them to answer one question. And the question is, how much would it hit you, like financially? And why don't you want to pay it? Because the truth of the matter is, it won't hurt them at all. Like it literally.
Yeah, it won't hurt them.
Literally. And I mean that literally won't. And so I want them to explain to everybody, why don't you want to pay it? And I know what the answer for some people will be. It's like, well, if I pay it now, then you're going to come to me next year and ask for it. And then I will say, and you're a billionaire. And I want people to see how much, because they're not just 1 billion. Like these are people that are like 50 billion. Like,
quadrillion billionaires.
How much money? And I think that people just throughout the world, and we've had this conversation before, Kim, and it makes me so angry because I don't think that people understand how much $1 billion is. And these are people that are like, I have $80 billion. And they're arguing over this money. And it makes me so upset. It is greed on display. And they're only billionaires because of us. Like, so I want them all to just sit there and be like, so you're going to leave the state that made you rich.
Yeah.
The state that made you rich with our technology and our people and our education. You're going to leave us because of why? The G word. You're greedy.
I'm going to keep
You're
your
greedy.
money in your pocket. That's right.
Greedy. I want him to say it out loud. And then he can go to hell.
I don't dislike all billionaires.
I
Taylor
don't think
Swift is a
billionaires should
billionaire.
exist. I don't think billionaires should exist.
Taylor Swift is a billionaire, right?
I don't think she should exist as a billionaire.
Well, I see her giving back. There are some billionaires that give back, that do nice things with their money. I don't think Dolly Parton has reached billionaire status, but she has a lot of money and you see her giving back. There are some people, who is it? The ex-wife of Bill Gates.
Oh,
Melinda-
Meredith.
And the ex-wife of somebody else that are, got all these billions.
Yeah, women give back.
And
I'm not trying to be sexist here, but yeah, the women do. Yeah.
Gives all this money away. And it's like, okay, good, excellent. Give back, right? It's not that you have it, it's that you hoard it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That becomes the problem. Yeah.
Well, and the fact is that we have a system in this country with investments and all that sort where you're going to be fine. And if you're not, there's something wrong with you. Like, that's once you hit like 9,909,000, whatever, that's it. That's as high as you go. It's like the odometer on a car. Everything else goes back to people. Like, you get your card to heaven or whatever the hell you believe in. You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to be the greatest person ever. You get the gold. You won. You know what I mean? Like, you get a big fat gold card that says you won. You won at life. You don't need any more money. Like, that's my point. Like, how much more money do you need? Because there are so many other people that need it. Like, why do you need it? You don't. So just don't take it anymore. Just give it to other people. And the fact that people fight me on that concept says more about them than me. Like, you don't, it's paper. It's literal paper that will do nothing for you, but so much for so many people. Like, and the fact that you don't want to is disgusting. And I can hear people like, you bleeding heart liberal. No, I'm a human being. Like, I just don't get. So that's why if this ballot measure goes on there and there's a bunch of billionaires that are saying, I'm going to start moving my company and everything out of the state, bring them on. I want you to explain. I want real journalists to be like, come on, I want to interview you. Why? What hit would it make you? How would your life be worse? And if you try to tell me all this, it'll stop innovation. You were innovative before you were this rich. You started X, Y, and Z company in the garage,
right? Mm-hmm.
Right? So stop telling me you can't do it with less.
So here's what's happening though. Instead of not hoarding, many of the billionaires, especially the tech bros, are the ones being offered the knee pads because they're bending a knee to Trump. And why? They're giving him all this money so that the regulations can be eased up on them so that they can do what? Make more money. Right?
Right.
They just want more and more and more. And when is it enough?
When is it enough?
Never.
So and there's trillionaires, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Like, even if you had to pay the tax, you can pay the tax. You pay the tax. It's not as if you can't afford it.
Right.
And if you can't, if there is something I'm missing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not rich. I'm not that rich. I don't understand this world. I don't understand. So if there's something I am missing, I mean, I think that maybe you're living outside your means. If you can't live within your means as a billionaire, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it's gross. It's really, really gross.
There are an estimated 210 billionaires living in California.
That's crazy. And that's nuts.
And these, as you say, it's not 1 billion. It's like,
and it's not 1 billion. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah. So anyways, if that happens, I would just I want them to be asked that simple question. But I will say this, somebody had posted on social media a video about how many times throughout, and I think they went back like 20 years, and they just did it in New York, not California, of the whole idea of, oh my God, rich people are going to move out of New York if you have this tax. And the number of billionaires or millionaires just kept growing. It like never went back. It's always been this threat of people leaving. Who knows if it's ever going to come true, but still, like, just the idea that they would leave because of it, because they'd have to, I don't know, part ways with an eyelash of their money disgusts me.
It's crazy though. They'll do anything to keep it all,
Yeah.
to avoid paying taxes, to
It's
do all of the
gross.
things that will keep their money growing and growing and growing and growing.
It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. All right. Well, let's end up on a good note. The Oscars. The Oscars were announced today. Sinners made history today. Did you hear that? Did you see the movie Sinners?
I didn't see it. No,
You never saw Sinners with Michael B. Jordan?
I didn't see it. No.
Michael B. Jordan like played a twin. So there were actually like two Michael B. Jordans, which is like, it was actually like a horror. It's like a horror movie. It won 16 nominations. And I think the last record was 14 nominations. Yeah. So it broke a record with 16 Oscar nominations. I wanted to see how many of the Oscar movies, I wanted to go down the list. How many of the Oscar nomination movies had you seen? Because, okay, so Best Picture. Ready? Have you seen Begonia?
No, but it's on Tim Sika's list of the best movies of the year.
I just saw it with Jay. Really? He thought it was one of the best movies?
Thought it was amazing. Loved it.
I'll just say, I saw it. My husband and I watched it. The ending was insane. Okay. I will just say that the ending is insane. And I love Emma Stone. I love Emma Stone. She's just one of my favorite actresses. F1. I never saw F1. That's the race car driving movie.
I watched it the other night. Yeah.
Was it good?
It got bad reviews by Tim Sika, but I kind of enjoyed it. Yeah.
It's a fun one. Someone was saying it's like the Top Gun of like racing. So whatever. Frankenstein. I saw Frankenstein over Christmas. That's with Jacob Elordi. You know Jacob Elordi?
I didn't see it.
It's actually really, really good. It kind of makes you sympathetic for Frankenstein, or not the monster of Frankenstein. It's actually really good. So Hamnet, never saw that either. Did you see that?
Nope.
Nope. Marty Supreme?
No.
I want to see that one though. I want to see that.
That's a recent one though. It just came out.
That's the one
right?
with Timothy Chalamet. I do want to see that one. One Battle After Another, I saw. That's with Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn. Really good. That's a really good movie. I would not be surprised if that actually took Best Picture. And I wouldn't be surprised if Leo wins Best Actor for that one. He's excellent in it. He's funny. He's intense. And I think he's due for another Oscar, in my opinion. The Secret Agent, I have no idea what that's about. Sentimental Value, no idea. I haven't even heard of that one. Sinners. Train Dreams, didn't even hear about that one. I mean, I think they opened up the Best Picture list to 10. So there's so many that I've never even heard of. There were some surprising ones. Kate Hudson won for got nominated for Best Actress for that Song Sung Blue one that I was telling you about, the Neil Diamond movie.
You know what? That's gotten great reviews from everyone.
I'm telling you, you should see it. It was so good. I would love it. I don't know, like if she's gonna win it. I don't have the list of best actresses. Oh, that's Best Supporting Actress. But she was really, really good in that. Oh, she's up again with Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I never saw that. Jessie Buckley was in Hamnet. Song Sung Blue with Kate Hudson. Renette Rensby in Sentimental Value. Never saw that. And then Emma Stone in Begonia. Emma Stone was really good in Begonia. I'd still vote for Kate Hudson. I still would. I'd still do that.
So here's Tim's top list of 2025 best movies of 2025.
Okay, go lay them on me.
Train Dreams.
Never saw Drain. Nope, didn't see that.
Begonia, Blue Moon.
Never saw that.
Riefenstahl.
Never saw that.
Splitsville.
Never saw that.
Sorry, Baby.
Never saw that.
A Friend.
Never saw that.
Boys Go to Jupiter.
Never saw
The Life of Chuck. And If
I've
I
heard of
Legs,
it,
I
never
Kick
saw
You.
it. And If I Had Legs,
Yeah.
I'd Kick You. I've heard of I Had Legs, I Kick You, and I haven't seen
He
it.
did pretty well though when it comes to the Academy Awards. Like his list is very close to their list.
But that's weird. Like
Yeah.
I'm a movie like watcher. I didn't see any of those. I feel like I don't know. I feel like because there's movies in the screen, like in movie theaters, and so much on streaming, that what people watch is so varied now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because some people just don't. My coworker was just saying today, she has not gone into a theater since COVID.
Wow.
Not because of COVID. She just doesn't go to the theater anymore. She's just so used to not going. She hasn't gone back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
And you can see so much on your streaming stuff that it's like,
Yeah.
do I really need to go to the big movies?
I mean, I like to go to the movies still. I love it.
You know what else?
Oh
is
yeah, the
out today?
Razzies
The
came out
Razzies.
too.
These are the worst movies of 2025. The Electric State.
Never saw that.
Hurry
Never
Up
saw
Tomorrow.
Mm-mm.
Disney's Snow White.
Never saw that.
Star Trek Section 31.
Never saw that.
And The War of the Worlds. Boy,
Never
did
saw
that
that.
one get panned.
I never saw that
Yeah.
either.
These are the worst actors. Dave Bautista, Ice Cube, Scott Eastwood, Jared Leto, Abel. Worst actress, Ariana DeBose, Mia Jovovich, Natalie Portman, Rebel Wilson, and Michelle Yeoh.
Never saw any of those movies either.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. Like again, I'm not seeing any of these, so I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I like to watch the Oscars, but it's not as much as the Grammys. The Grammys are happening the first Sunday in February, in between, right before the Super Bowl Sunday, which my Niners are not in. But I do like the Grammys more than the Oscars. I just think the Grammys are. If you had your choice of going to the Oscars or the Grammys, which would you choose?
Oh, I think you're gonna see more.
Hey.
If you were a celebrity watcher and you wanted to go hobnob and rub elbows with celebrities, you'd probably see more of them at the Oscars. But you'll have a better show at the Grammys. That's going to be music.
I
and
would go,
fun.
hands down. I would go to the Grammys.
Yeah.
I would rather go to the Grammys and the Golden Globes. I heard that the Oscars are kind of hoity-toity, and you can't drink. You can drink at the Golden Globes. They
Oh,
don't serve you
interesting.
alcohol at the Oscars.
Okay.
They only serve you alcohol at the Golden Globes, and you know me. I
I
ain't
know
sitting
you.
there for hours on
I
end.
know you very well.
I'm not gonna sit there listening to people's speeches. Honestly, I sit at home and yell at the screen saying, "Wrap it up, B." You know what I mean? Like I ain't gonna sit at the Oscars sober listening to people ramble on and on and on. That's not gonna happen. So, all right. Well, we will see. We will see. Okay, I am off. I'm going to a comedy show, but I want to thank everybody for being here. We will see you next Thursday, but we have some big thank yous to give. Oh, Mom hasn't been to the movies for 3 years.
3
Jeez
years.
Louise.
Yeah.
I have to go to the
I'm
movies.
sorry.
I have to go to the movies. I'm sorry. It is like, I love going to the movies. Louise, I know. Thank you for giving me your
you.
sympathy. Thank you for the $5 donation, Louise. Cindy, thank you for the $10 donation as well. We also have a donation from Luis. Sing it with me. No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. I will sing that all the time. Thank you, my friend. And Vilma, thank you for the $5 donation. I was
Yay.
operating under the assumption that all illegal aliens are criminals and that illegal aliens don't have the same rights as other Americans. You are very true. Vilma, thank you for the $5 donation. You guys, thanks for being here. As always, we do this because you guys are here. And only because you guys are here, and we love being here with you. And we do it because you guys support us each and every day. If you can't support us, we would appreciate it. All the ways to support us are in the show notes. The Nikki Maduro Show at gmail.com. It can be used on Patreon and in PayPal. And we love you guys. We will be here next Thursday at 5 o'clock, as always. And you can always reach out to us also through email, the Nikki Maduro Show at gmail.com. All right, guys, take care of each other. Love each other. Don't be a-holes like Trump is. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.